Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to map number 2 between Inflames and 9Z. Inflames winning their respective map pick in pretty convincing fashion over on Inferno, whereas now we move into 9Z's map pick. Overpass is the proving ground, and their last lifeline here in the closed qualifiers. Of course, they're already in the lower bracket, so after this, there is no second chance. So we'll see if they can pull us to a 3-map series. At the very least, a silver lining that could be touched upon is that the past few times that Inflames have played this map, they've not been too successful. Only winning 1 out of the last 7 times they've played Overpass. They're so confident over on Inferno. I imagine a lot of that will transfer over, especially starting on the CT side. ZQK and DZT will make short work of the first two, as Fran's just able to get away alive in that situation. I realize that the majority of the presence is over at A, and so we'll instead make an established control over towards the other side of the map. Restic's gonna go back. Have to go absolutely huge here to alleviate some early pressure on the bomb site. There's no kits available here for Inflames, as they wanted to take those fights early on as opposed to allowing it into a post-plant position. Our men dealt with that monster. DZT able to get back another, and he's actually gotten 2. 3 kills for DZT in the round. Some very fast plays as they moved on forward. And Inflames do what they needed to do in taking the pistol round. Very aggressive stance in towards middle, and that confidence certainly transferring over from Inferno. They absolutely meet 9Z head on and seemingly catch them off guard as well. They wouldn't have been too caught up by ZQK taking those fights, but that pressure in from long as well, simultaneously with those fights in middle, meant that 9Z was stuck between 2 angles of contention, and they just couldn't hit the shots. Showtime. Aggressive and towards long start of this round. Series of bursts fired off, and no damage done either which way. Given that they've got the upgraded pistols in play, 9Z are gonna try and play this round out a little bit slower. Use these pistols, particularly the Deagle, to take some of these long-ranged fights, maybe pull a weapon away from the Inflames camp. Given that there are AUGs and scouts on the field, this slower play does lend itself in favor of those particular weapons. Will be an A-side hit from 9Z. The first tag on towards NHL is successful. ZQK fully takes down the player towards long, and they were in a perfect position to deal with that. 3 players on the bomb site, 2 with the AUGs, and they line them up, both fighting at the same angle, so really going in towards the meat grinder. And 9Z don't accomplish any damage in the round. Again, a strong start for DZT. This time 6-0 on the second map. Of course, it has been just transferred over from the pistol and the subsequent rounds, so not too much to read into just yet, but certainly some early signs. NHL creeping around the edge of the smoke. DZT's gonna get cut off with it. I think the door opened up simultaneously, probably distracts him from that play, and fantastic adjustment for 9Z to get an opening frag. Given that this is their first gun round in particular, that makes things a little bit more impactful. The question is, how do 9Z respond now that they have a bit more map control to play with? They have Connector, Short Water. They even cleared out a little bit of long as well, as all the Inflames players are stuck in towards the sites. I'm going to get caught out position by and large. 9Z still with 2 players lingering over towards short, and imagine they'll try and be a distraction from the hit towards A. Maybe they're actually... No, they're just establishing a foothold, a front line that, in which they can re-aggress on towards the B bomb site as the smokes ring through. They've over-rotated away, and they're trying to compensate for the lost player, and they'll lose out on the bomb site as a result. Restic does get taken down the cross, and that's the bomb dropped. Another player needs to commit on forward, and that was an opportunity for ZQK to find a kill in response. Fran makes it towards the site, and NHL has him covered. Showtime attempting to emerge from the heavens and plop them down from above. Instead gets swatted himself. RMN still relatively close to the site. Could still fight for this if he wanted to. There was a kit in his path. So should 9Z have gone on the hunt and given away the site, RMN would have been given an opportunity. But he's not even going to attempt a situation like that. 9Z are sticking with the bomb by and large anyway. They all liked it together to make sure that they don't sustain too many casualties as a result of this round win.
Terrorists win.
That all those sets of plays are really enabled there from NHL killing one player on the B bomb site. As soon as they feel any pressure on A, Inflames are happy to rotate from that B site without any information in towards Shortwater or Monster Tunnel. You talk often about how CTs do need to get some information on this map, just given how fast the rotations can be between these 2 bomb sites when Connector is given up and given to that T side. Feel the full effects of it in that particular round. Doesn't seem to be an immediate response here from Inflames. They're not going to over-aggress on their CT side just yet. They're playing a relatively passive setup. Of course, these are isolated engagements as they move up towards A, so RMN needs to hit this first before he can even think about falling off. Flash to allow that player at long to peek at the angle. Spot for players. First kill is critical. Now he can tuck into the corner. That may present an opportunity for ZQK to provide some backup. Arman gets a secondary kill. Weakens up Lucan as well. Oh, and although he catches just a glimpse of the shoulder, he'll have the information that maybe it's not likely to be that A plate. The timing will be critical. There's a player... Oh, from the back lines. No, surely not. Yeah, Restic, I think, had knife in hand, had to switch back to the AK just to establish the kill. That equalizes the affair, but that softened up opponent is found. The DZT able to convert on the frag, but Restic answers back in kind. As 2 players swiftly moving towards the A site in both sides of the map. CTs and Ts here in presence, but the Molotov will force one back. Restic able to make use of the smoke and retreat in towards cover, but if they tap the bomb, they're not in the best position to deal with this. JC will be the full force of the defense here as he looks to cover the diffuser. NHL trying his best to contest, but Showtime's already sticking it. He knows exactly that the post-plant positions aren't the best from 9Z to really contest the site and makes use of the cover where available. Obviously, people will be familiar with some of the international success that some of these Inflames players have had. Lucan and NHL as well will be familiar. Previously of Furious. Playing very well regionally as well as against some Asian opposition. Those are the types of mistakes you can't be making if you're 9Z. It was the safest place for them to plant in that previous round, but unable to really make use of it. No player situated at long to maybe spring into action in time. The 9Z have gone for a buy in spite of not having enough money to afford up a proper weapon on NHL. He was one who found opening picks for 9Z in previous rounds. Showtime does hear a bit of presence over towards B, and there's only 2 players on the site. Now the rotation's been called in, and they'll get here in numbers. 3 players committed towards B, but now 1 has been lost. Showtime, crucial duel 1 over towards short. The smokes will isolate the engagement, and as they jump up, attempt to make it over the barrels. The bomb's been dropped right into the loving arms of Showtime. It's suddenly just Restic alone here for 9Z, and he can get nothing more accomplished. RMN is there off of short. And so far, still only the 1 round established for the Argentinians and Uruguayan player. Always hard to lump everybody into the same nationality, especially when there's 1 amiss. Flames 4 and 1. EQK lost a shot to the edge of the bathroom's just there, and RMN's able to sweep everything else under the rug. Make sure that they cannot push down that AWPer, and so EQK feels confident to take fight after fight. A round of relatively no contest there for Inflames as they hit the shots they need to, and it wasn't the biggest of commitments from 9Z, so don't feel too hard pressed as of yet. This is not the position you want to be in, given how well Inflames played on Inferno. This is your own map pick here in this best of 3 series. You hopefully anticipate some level of success, especially given the track record that Inflames have gotten, at least as far as HLTV games are concerned. Lovely shot there from Rustic, making use of the surf as well. Love to see a bit of movement employed into a gunfight. RMN aggressing through the bathrooms, and Fran is caught out. He thought for sure that that front bathroom smoke would make it so that no player would dare contest him, but DCT makes it his own play over at the B bomb site. Pushing in towards short, they catch out the 2 players on 9Z. And it's again Restic in the clutch. Bomb dropped towards the back of Connector, so he needs to make his way over there at some point. Would have liked to have seen him navigate over towards that portion of the map now, just so that he doesn't have to double back and throw away any semblance of map control he would have established. But RMN has spotted it out. He knows exactly where the package is, and it doesn't seem like Restic's all too keen for this. Just holding an angle. 15 seconds are all that remain. This will be the save called here for 9Z. Although he's able to bring that AK forward into the next round, 9Z still only able to get 1 to their name. Quickly pull up the scoreboard and show how things transpired. Their first gun round was successful, and pretty heavily so. 4 players stayed alive in the end. And ever since that moment, they've not been able to pull anything else forward in this half. It is the pistols around Restic's AK. We have a look at how the odds are reflected, and as you would suspect, very heavily in favor of Inflames over at our partners at GGBet. Certainly see why. Such a dominant display on map number 1, and that dominance is still a part of Overpass as well. DZT. That's a lovely smoke. One of my personal favorites. Allows for that player on the fast rotation to throw that smoke and means that SHZ can hold on to his own. DQK in towards the bathrooms. They'll creep right into him. This time, no smoke towards the front of bathrooms to make it so that play isn't possible. DQK is just going to try and distract them from his teammate. Arman is up close and personal, able to bypass the first. ZQK gets one. Lucan may just soon emerge from the smoke. Oh, you'll see him now. Arman will dispatch him, deliver the finishing headshot. NHL will chime back with 2, however. Brings it to the 1-on-3. This was a 5v1 opportunity here for Inflames to be able to capitalize on, but NHL's not going to even tempt it. 10 seconds are all that remain, and so he doesn't have enough time to make it onto the site as well as establish the plant, and so he will once again bring this AK forward. Oh. Why have you done that? That is an unneeded peak for NHL. As a result of going for that, he's not going to be able to buy up an AK into this next round because he died after time. If he'd held onto the AK, everything would have been fine and dandy. This would have been a full buy for 9Z to try and contest and get a second round on the board, but as a result of that over commitment to the duel, he's now subject to the CZ. Certainly not ideal for 9Z as they look to finally crack open and hold on to one of these bomb sites. NHL will cycle the bomb over towards his teammate. Of course, with the CZ, will look to try and lead if possible. Make use of the close engagement angles and close the distance to some of these defenders. Should the correct utility be employed. It's another great smoke. Just getting to see all of them. On the Inflame side. A few set ones that they can throw such that the monster tunnel is significantly reduced as a risk. And Lucan dropped in towards short. 9Z caught with their nades in their hands, and again another smoke will bloom. 9Z wanted to commit forward. They were waiting for a flash from short to enable that play, but it'll come a little bit too late. SHC makes use of the space. ZQK is here with the off, and he misses the shot. Restic dodging underneath the bullet. He's able to bob and weave, and he still needs to find 2 more players to bring this home for 9Z, and even though he gets the plant spammed through the smoke by DZT, and Inflames will get a 7-round lead over their opposition.
Bomb has been defused. Counter-terrorists win.
And I was about to say, about time that a timeout is called here for the 9Z side. I'm sure they would have come into this map with a game plan, but so far that hasn't been successful. SHC not quite in the same performance that he'd had on Inferno, not really being given as many opportunities either. Similar names towards the top, DZT, RMN, DQK as well. We saw a really standout performance from Showtime in a map I had casted earlier on in the qualifiers. I believe that was on Mirage. Not too certain as to who they were against. As far as I'm aware, it should have been... Let's find the game. It should have been... Redemption. Certainly capable in his own right, just consistency is an issue. This is actually a good start here for 9Z. They've gone early long control. There's no banana or bathrooms pressure for Inflames, and so as a result of early utility being deployed on the T side of things, the CTs feel that they need to deploy some in their own right. Makes things a little bit more awkward for the 9Z offense. We can see that those Molotovs and smokes do very little to how 9Z are approaching this one. Molotov does actually do a little bit of tag damage on towards NHL, but that's just him testing the waters, warming up his feet. It is cold some parts of the world. Couple of smokes thrown towards the A site, one towards the middle of the bomb site, the other in towards the stairs. That Molotov, not quite what they would have wanted, at the very least it maybe accomplishes eliminating the flank opportunity from the CTs had they been in that position, but the 3 versus 4 will ensue. You do know that Long has been compromised. CCT took an earlier duel. Now they'll try and jump towards the site. Bomb in hand, RMN does everything for Inflames. Gets 3 kills as they push on forward, and they do not suspect that he's in that position. The truck angle was being held by one of the 9Z players. They thought they had all the information they needed, but as the smoke fades, it's perfect for RMN. Series of nades in towards middle. They're really trying to deny this here from 9Z. And as they've built up this lead, they're going to take more and more of these brazen fights, trying to limit the map control that the T-site can really accomplish. NBL passed the Flames, got there before RMN had thrown it, so he had an inkling as to where he was positioned. Showtime, in the meanwhile, is still over at Long, and at what point does he swing out a little bit wider and look for that information? He'll catch them as they retreat. The timing is impeccable for Showtime, and 9Z are tempted to try and chase the trade. Neither of them will go towards that position early on. NBL will now attempt to hunt him down. But 9Z seemingly trapped between 2 mines, looking to pull back towards B, even take the fight. Now they'll show some pressure over towards Showtime, in which he's priming a flash and trying to give enough space for ZQK, but it actually works against him. He has to turn around from the flashbang, and that subjects him to the kill there from NBL. SAC, meanwhile, over at the B bomb site, is able to eliminate 1. They were traversing the connector, trying to get towards the site as they had anticipated a rotation away from B, and instead reinforcing the A bomb site from S8Z, but
Bomb has been planted.
now the T side will take advantage of that CT control. S8Z's been spotted out. Yelp can be recovered and brought into the next round, should that be the play here. How tempted he is into this 1v2 opportunity. Yeah, not favoring his chances. He'll double back, pick up the AWP, and retreat to the sanctuary that is the T spawn and the playground. In fact, he does neither of those things. That he's having a nice little picnic and party, all by his lonesome.
Terrorists win.
Just like many a birthday that I've had. Well, while that may not be true, Inflames have certainly shown up in the way that you would expect them to. They've got some tenure between Showtime and ZQK. DZT and SHC as well have had a lot under their belt. RMN respectively as well. They've got a lot more experience than some of these 9Z players, and that they've got more international exposure in that regard, and it does certainly have an effect. You're certainly more open-minded to some of the plays that may ensue. Keeping it up regionally as well is fantastic for them thus far. RMN, first kill there. Also, not going to be able to be deployed as he doesn't have that available, but he gets the secondary kill as well. Even with ZQK missing that shot, which could have been a potential opportunity for 9Z to track down that trade, as well as find the kill on the AWPer. RMN to do the heavy lifting. Meanwhile, at the B-bomb site, they attempt to get something done, and just none of the frags are going 9Z's way. Have a look at the scoreboard after this round and see. Showtime just walking through a smoke. That's not really a play that you see all too often, but Showtime is just so confident. All of Inflames brimming with it as they look to emerge victorious here in the lower bracket. The winner of this game would thus progress into the 5th round of the lower bracket, face off against either one of the winners between Ints and Team Reapers. Subsequently, the winner of that best of 3 would face Isurus, then proceed to the minor. So certainly a lot riding on this one. And thus far, a very one-sided affair, and it's going to continue to be so. SHC makes short work of every single player as they push off of short. It is just the eco. Showtime actually robbed one of those frags towards the end there. And nonetheless, they completely lock out the B-bomb site. We'll once again have a look at our odds. So if you bet on Inflames to win this game, you get your money back. Or suppose you get nothing. You get what you had all along. Push on towards Monster. SHC Molotov in his position, hoping that the flames wouldn't spread, but does a little bit of tag damage onto him. They know exactly where that player is, and they don't need to be too concerned about him just yet. Still sitting in the smoke, he can have limited effectiveness from this angle, but the rotations are already there. 90 not progressing as fast as they would have liked towards the site. It's suddenly NBL in the clutch. 1 versus 4 and already taken to low HP. It's ZQK who delivers the finishing blow. And Inflames are up to 12. They've at least secured an extremely strong CT half so far. It has been a one-sided affair all the way through. The first map was exactly that. You maybe could chalk that up as well to Inflames being the more experienced side, as well as it being their map pick. But 9Z don't seem to have any answer to how Inflames are setting up. DCT is alone over towards long, and he's going to be able to dodge the flash, not able to convert on any of the kills, does 1 bullet respectively to the 3 players that peeked him. Our men will look to make use of the information taken early on. And the first of all, quick trade available. PK is there as well, but NBL completely catches him out. He thought it was heavy pressure towards long they needed to be concerned about. It's every other angle as they attempt to retake it. And again, they're just taking fight after fight. NBL taken down. The bomb dropped. Fran and Lucan will try and right back with a kill of their own. Showtime has walked all of this way on the rotation. So they will get very much up close and personal towards Showtime. He's anticipating this movement, though. He's prepared for this fight. Fran, the angle doesn't favor him. The right side peek here from Showtime. Lucan last alive to bring a 3rd round forward for the 9Z side, but Showtime delivers. He gets both of the kills. It's very patiently played out, but a cerebral game shown from Showtime, and Inflames will secure a 13th. And you absolutely have to draw a comparison in the kill disparity between these two teams, the highest of which is 6 for the 9Z side, the lowest 11 for Inflames. You look at the ADR numbers, no one sitting above 60 for that entire side. Inflames have been dominant thus far in this best of 3, and they're looking to solidify and close things off, progress into the next round here in the lower bracket. that 9Z are prepared for a fight. 4 players over towards B. They'll completely eliminate the push. NBL, NHL, they both chime through. Inflames looking to recover in RMN, who's had the hot hand on the CT side, but he cannot get it done in that position. They do well to completely trump the push there from Inflames, but they'll need many around like it. And yeah, it's as you'd expect from Inflames. Force buying immediately into the subsequent round. They've got more than enough of a round buffer built up that they can feel comfortable in this decision. If they win this round, it's up to 14. Likely a 15th based off the economic situation that 9Z would then be thrust into, but let's not quite get ahead of ourselves just yet. 9Z will have the weaponry and utility advantage by all means. They've been setting up for a play for Restic to get some information in through the tunnels. Fran as well will clear things alongside his teammate. RMN has recognized this, however, and he's going to give up control to those CTs. Just looking for a player that over pushes in that position and looking to just lock down and prevent the flank potential here from the CT side. Looking towards Banana, NBL looking to get up close and personal with these Ts, but you'd anticipate that they're prepared for this. DCTs holding that angle. They're likely to clear the close corner just off the back of the utility that's being deployed. Some of the sound cues that would have been available. NBL pushing through the smoke. He gives up his life in the process, but NHL's able to compensate. He gets 2 kills, but needs to stay alive for a little bit longer here. They line up for him as he sprays them down. Only able to get the 2 kills as they fully committed towards the site. 3 overall, but now the 2-on-2. Showtime unable to get it done. ZQK now left in a clutch. Deagle in hand, 20 HP to his name. A couple of kits available here for 9Z, but isolated engagements as they move on forward. He gives up the angle just as Fran peaks. The timing working in favor of 9Z in this instance, and they will get the defuse off the back of it. Now 2 in a row. They deal with the force buy that Inflames brought forward, but that's a dangerous round to have. It's a very costly one at that for the CT side. And the full reinvestment will mean that whoever wins this round likely accumulates a secondary off the back of it. Not enough in the reserve for 9Z to really contest things further. Likely be a scrappy force buy to prevent what would potentially be then Inflames up to 15. Restic almost getting caught out. 57 HP remaining on him. The counter nade is good though. Decent amount of damage done to a number of these players on the T side. The flash is good as well to enable Fran the opportunity. But he was flashed up as well, so I missed one. As he swung the bat. The ball is caught, and it's strike number 1, but strike number 2 not going to be quite the same story. Inflames get gunned down from up high. Lucan jumping atop the boxes. Delivers on 3 kills for 9Z on the defensive, and that's a perfect round to be had. Everyone stays alive for that CT side. They can bring all of those weapons forward and start to build their economy off the back of it. Now if they give up a few bodies in this round, it's not the end of the road. Likely be able to cycle weaponry over such that the economy is still held strong here for them on the CT side of things. Meanwhile, Inflames half buying into the situation. Scouts, the Deagles, and upgraded pistols respectively. Showtime and RMN though move right past the Flames in towards short, and they've overpowered Fran. There's an AUG now to work with for the Inflames roster. Be the response. It seems like all control will be taken. CQK lands the tag. Now they'll give up control. They want to give an opportunity for a trade, and although they were looking to give it up, Other set of tag damage is done in towards NHL. So now these opponents are softened up for not only the Scout, but the Org as well in RMN's hands. One up-close deagle shot would be lethal for both of these two players. One at range, NHL would still survive on a slither of health. Good to see some counter-aggression thus far from 9T. Clearing out the B side of things, they can feel a little bit more secure in that NBL. Should the B bomb site be taken, will be on a fast flanking opportunity. It'll instead be the hit towards the A bomb site. Lucan already eliminated. The headshot is lethal at that distance. Lucan tagged up from earlier exchanges. 9Z looking to delay for as long as possible. The flash is good. That will push these players back momentarily, but Showtime tracks down Restic. There's the player on the flank as well they need to be concerned about in NBL. He's going to do so much damage as they attempt to cross on towards the bomb site. He makes it so that NHL still survives. 1 HP on him. The 9Z nonetheless get themselves up to a 6th. Another critical round for 9Z to be able to win. They need to consecutively win these gun rounds if they want a chance in bringing this game forward. Inflames thus far seem to have hit a bit of a brick wall. Not quite the flash I'm sure Restic was looking for. Likely one lined up such that it would loom right towards short. But that play is so sneaky from Showtime. Dipping between the blind spots there and both of those players in middle. The very least 9Z answer in kind. They get 2 kills of their own, but they've had to push themselves forward to try and bypass the flank potential that Showtime has. And even with RMN getting caught off guard, the frag is successful. DZT's eliminated. Both NHL and Fran are low HP. And although they have full control of the bomb site, they do not have the bomb. They've opened up a pizza parlor without the ability to produce the pizza. And Showtime has had a very strong round thus far. Still 2 more players to track down for the remaining Inflames players. And Showtime may be caught up by that angle. Fran eliminates him. RMN's now left in the clutch. 19 HP to work with, and the bomb fully subject to the control of these CTs. They know where he's coming from. The smoke won't do all too much. The Flames will even push him back further as if spam comes through from Fran, it would be lethal. Just 1 bullet would do it. RMN doing his best to duck and dodge away from the utility. This kill could be critical. NHL eliminated. He'll try and escape, but he wants to take the fight. He doubles back, and Fran is just lying in wait. RMN pulling out his knife in an opportunity in which you do have to somewhat question it. Maybe not confident that he can make it towards the bomb site in time. I think if he had gone and sprinted for it, it would have been extremely fine margins. But a quick switch when they least needed it. Showtime. What a wonderful set of entries to start off that round, but a great immediate response from 9Z. Fast playing towards Banana. The smoke won't deter the Inflames players. They're looking to create as much space as possible. DCT's already traversed right through it, so everybody else will answer and do the exact same. NHL gets the first. They'd be able to gun down Fran on the rotation. A lot of damage exchange, but no frags yet to be found from the CTs. NHL does well. Gets another kill off the remaining 2 bullets, but SHC has crept on forward. There's this flank potential that's coming on through as Showtime may be exposed to that opportunity here. The bomb's still dropped. Rustic playing extremely passive there. He's allowing for NBL to be the playmaker in this instance, and SHC will get caught out from it. NBL delivers the finishing blow, and Showtime, only 2 HP in his name, has to pull up big. A couple of swift headshots. Not even going to be gifted opportunities like that. Restic doesn't want him to get a clip. Doesn't want Inflames to get up to 14, so just delivers on a touchdown nade. That brings the round forward for 9Z. One shy of the number in their name. They're certainly starting to make me believe that it's possible. 5 more rounds still need to be brought forward to tie up this game. They're absolutely showing up where they need to. A great performance thus far from NHL individually. A series of multi-kills that have been so instrumental in getting some of these rounds for 9Z. Oh, that is so unfortunate for NBL. The timing on the spam is perfect from RMN. This counter boost is so cheeky. It's such a risk to take, but RMN spotted them. He's caught just a glimpse of the jump spot there from NBL. They weren't really sure how to line that one up, I think. Just thought he'd have more vision in towards that position, and RMN's able to take him down. I'm very surprised that he's been able to spot that one out. Very hit or miss in that type of an instance. They at least dropped the bomb over towards the monster tunnel. Rather, the short tunnel. But RMN's able to deal with the immediate threat, recover that bomb right back into the Inflames side. They will trust that NHL make the right call here. Got limited information to work off of on both sides of the map. At least bathrooms has been garnered from Lucan. Maybe they can reinforce B off the back of it. NHL will move in towards that position. The flash timing is perfect to deny Inflames a bit more space on the site, but they should be able to traverse onto it, get this bomb planted. Short will get smoked off as well. Restic has been dealt with, and there's nobody can really prevent this plant. RMN dropped to 40 HP, but Lucan, he's going to get flashed up. Gonna potentially use that to push on towards the bomb site, but he'll now fall onto these 2 remaining 9Z players. Smoke on through. Lucan trying to get a bit more coverage as they push towards the site. NHL gets dropped on the cross. Lucan will get the trade, but cannot convert on a secondary kill. It will be number 14. Finally picked up here from Inflames. RMN and Showtime have been so sharp on the T side. Great kills to be had as 9Z, they've suffered heavy casualties in some of these previous rounds, and it's really bled through into this one. Series of pistols and SMGs brought up. NHL subject to the FAMAS. The only one that's just able to get a reasonable buy moving forward is Restic in the round. He'll be positioned over at those barrels over at B. On a collision course is another player that's relatively close. Could at least lock down this position here for 9Z. NHL's been pretty instrumental in the defensive so far. He gets one, the second not quite as easy. Good time, the double kill, one off the trade. Triple now for Showtime as now Inflames can start moving towards that A site. They do still need to recover the bomb, and that makes things a little bit awkward on the timing. Showtime will get towards the bomb site, and he's been weakened up from the earlier duels, so this MP9 could be lethal. It's actually going to be a bait and switch. They're running distraction. The bomb's making its way over towards the B bomb site, and RMN has cleared out a number of these angles. Rustic, you'll have absolutely no idea what's gone on because DCT is going to be deep in towards CT spawn. Meanwhile, the bomb's being planted on the opposite site. You'll know as well that Showtime is in a lurking position. He's trapped between a rock and a hard place. Showtime is at least the rock. But the hard place gets even harder. Multiple smokes deployed in towards his position. He has minimal room to work with. This is likely a save call from Restic if he's able to navigate around these players successfully. And Inflames have gotten themselves up to 15. They at least can wipe the small bead of sweat that may have been accumulating over time away from their brow as they, at the very least, secure overtime. Of course, if you are just joining us, Inflames did win out the first map on Inferno in pretty convincing fashion. Ultimately, Inferno ended 16-3 in favor of Inflames. Although they got off to an extremely hot start here on their CT side, 9Z seemed to be no slouches on that portion of the map, respectively. Push towards long. This may be a way to bring things forward for them. SHC gets one, not quite the second, however. The playground will be taken. NHL gets 2 on the Deagle. Suddenly this becomes an extremely winnable position now. The connector is completely cleared out as a result of finding both those frags. Rifles can be picked up as well from those CT players. And they can just fall back off as a result of that. Inflames have taken control of the majority of the B bomb site. There's still a player in their path in Restic, but he'll spot them out. The rotation's already en route. Molotov means that TQK has to sit in the smoke, but he's taking so much damage, he fully goes down to the flames. I think because his model was obscured by the smoke particles, he thought he would be safe. He even jumped atop the boxes initially, but heat rises. That's not going to be enough. If you're looking to avoid heat, you'd have to sit underneath the flames instead. Good connector pressure established here for 9C, and Lucan, oh, he's going to continue pushing forward. If he goes and pushes all the way through, he could potentially flank them out over at B, but as a result of throwing that flashbang, that's no longer going to be on the cards. It's just the pistols here for Inflames, and the nade's going to do so much damage as they push forward. Still looking for the opening opportunity, just met by utility instead. 9Z are playing the patient game. NBL takes the headshot through the edge of the wall. That's significant damage done, but not quite the kill. 9Z are here in spades, and as a result of slowing things down, 9Z are going to begin to question whether long has been compromised, whether there's a lurking presence over at the A side of things, and that's going to make things a little bit more uncomfortable for the likes of NHL. Can no longer retreat from connector. He's in a do or die position. He's going to have to do. Trying to track him down in towards connector. He cannot throw the smoke in time. Just free firing around the corner. Eventually he will get traded, but he's done enough. The information's been relayed over. Restic as well will find a kill over at B, and it seems like that will be the end goal here for Inflames. Look in towards heaven. RMN's not going to be peeking before that blooms. Lucan in towards the pit. He wins the crucial duel. DCT 1 versus 2, 1v1 on the site, but he cannot find the skill fast enough. They crunch on through. Even if he'd taken down Lucan, who was being such a troublesome player in towards pit, the trade would have been there in Fran. And double digits at least secured. Again, still 5 shy of what Inflames have in their own right, and because Inflames have lost so many rounds in a row, they're always going to have this max loss bonus sitting atop of them, so they can consistently go for this half buy into full buy swing that we've been seeing thus far. I don't think that smoke, yeah, that smoke's not going to hit. He had the lineup down, but not quite the position. Pass play towards B. Very surface level aggression here from Inflames. Molotovs will come through, but kind of just waiting for the right opportunity to strike. He'll jump up on top of the railing, but he's not able to get anything done. Rustic still alive, however. The rotations are here, and NHL brings it to the one-on-one. Araman still on the bomb site, and the bomb in a very exposed position. NHL, can he get this done? Araman does pick up the package. Has so much time to play with, could potentially reposition as well, but he's going to take the fight. NHL gets a little bit over antsy, starts to move away, could have potentially held that position, but the smoke was fading, and Inflames will take it in map number 2. It's a 2-0 in the series, and Inflames will go on to face off against the winners of both Team Reapers and Ints. Quickly have a look at how that game is going all the meanwhile. Ints just narrowly won out on Dust 2, 16-14. But now they're on train and currently leading 8-0. That is Ints' map pick as well. So likely to be an Ints and Inflames lower bracket lower bracket semi-final, as they prepare to fight Isurus in the lower bracket finals, should that be the case. Either which way, that's going to be us from here on the second channel here.